Hello, friends. I'm Andrea Morris, and welcome to another episode of Spill the Wine. As you know, Spill the Wine is a podcast about wine, and I'm visiting a lot of wineries on my home turf in the Niagara Bench region because I really think that this is a special, special place, and I want to help promote it to people. And also debunk a lot of theories about wine, like a wine has to be expensive in order to be good, or that you have to know a lot about wine in order to enjoy it, which is, again, not true. So on this journey, we are here on this episode with visiting a winery that I can actually walk to from my house. It's called Villa Romana Estate Winery, and we're here with Ugo. And lovely to see you again. How are you doing?
Good, great.
Great.
Good to be here.
So, Ugo, one of the first things I do is I like to kind of get the history of your winery. And what made you want to open up a winery?
Insanity.
So that's actually the answer that everyone gives.
So I was born in Rome and came to Canada when I was 17 years old. That was back in 1970. Went to McGill University, got my CGA, CPA, so I'm an accountant. Started working for a major Class 1 railroad and retired. I was director of financial special projects. So the winery was basically a choice of life. Like, I retired and I wanted something to do. We did have a winery in Italy, just south of Rome, in a place called Lanuvino. So I kind of grew into a family winery. So I kind of know enough to be dangerous, but it was a choice, right? There was something to do. On my retirement, I enjoyed meeting people, maybe making some nice red wines that people enjoy. So that's my payment. And we established the company back in 2014. We purchased 22 acres in Niagara-on-the-Lake, Concession 7, Line 1. But the soil there was not to our liking. The water tables are only 4 feet. There is sediments from the ancient lake bed, which was kind of disgusting. And so, long story short, it wasn't for me to put grapes there. We sold it. Came to Beamsville in 2016, late 2016. We found this property and we purchased it. And the rest is history. We planted on June 15, 2017. We're still under development, so we're operating out of what we call the barn. The building has now been approved for the winery.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
I know you've been
only
fighting that for quite some time.
Yeah, 3 years to get the permits. We now have permits. Now it's a question of cost. After COVID, the construction costs went berserk, right? It's insane. The interest rates are high. So we want to be careful, right?
Right.
Rome was not built in one day. So maybe next year we'll start.
So Villa Romana will be built in, maybe 2 or 3 days.
No quite.
How many acres do you have here?
We have 10.2 acres, and we have 9 varieties of grapes. We have Chardonnay, Pinot Grigio, Vidal, Gewurztraminer, Cabernet Sauvignon, Cab Franc, Merlot, Pinot Noir, and Riesling. The reason for the 9 variety is because they're all cold climates. Our clones are from France, Germany, and Spain. And we wanted to do some blends. So those are the basics for the cold climates, and it worked out pretty well. We now have 17 wines in total. We have 10 medals at the last competitions.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Double gold on Gewurztraminer, gold on Pinot Gris, and a bunch of silver on the other ones.
Because when I first visited you 2 years ago, when I moved to the area, you didn't have as many wines.
No.
Yeah.
2020 is our first vintage ever. So we planted June 15, 2017. 2020 is the first time that we made wine. It takes about 4 years to get grapes going properly to produce good wine. So.
Do you ever buy any from other places?
No.
No?
No,
Everything is all your own
We are an
grapes?
estate winery. We're very meticulous on what we do. We worry about quality, not quantity. So, no, I'm not doing that. And the batches that we made are pretty small. Like, in the 80 to 100 cases, that's it.
So once it's gone, it's gone?
Once it's gone, it's gone. And some of them are gone already.
Oh, no. Well, I'm so happy that I get a chance to have you on this podcast, to taste your wines and talk about them, because you always have such amazing stories. So what are we going to start with today, Ugo?
We can start with the Cenerentolo. This is a Cab Franc Sparkly. It's a creation of my daughter. She's a sommelier. Mm-hmm. And it's totally different. It's very different. She can describe it much better than I do, I suppose. She got the fancy words.
Right.
But you know, wine is, you either like it or you don't. It doesn't matter all these fancy words around. Your palate is your palate.
Exactly.
Nobody can tell you what you're tasting. They can give you ideas, but to me, it's better to go blind, taste,
And
I
then-
like it or I don't.
Right, because a lot of times the tasting notes can influence what you feel that you're tasting.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Cenerentolo. Cenerentolo.
Which means Cinderella,
Ah.
but the male version in Italian.
Cenerentolo. Okay, it's a beautiful, deep red color, which is unusual for a sparkling.
Yeah, Cafranc. It's like a Lambrusco, but we can't call it that.
Because everything is unique to that region.
It's also copyrighted.
Oh, right, right. Well, just like champagne and.
That's right.
Yeah. This is really nice.
Thank you.
It's a little bit on the sweet side, but not too sweet,
Right?
but very refreshing.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make fantastic sangrias.
Oh, of course, yes. There's nothing like a sangria on a hot day like today.
That's right.
Yeah, but you could just drink this plain as well. And
That's right.
would you do this as a before dinner or after dinner thing? Because it seems kind of after dinner drinky to me.
Nah, you can do it with meals.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Like I
nice
said,
pasta.
Nice pasta, or any barbecues will go. Sitting on a porch, doing a barbecue, yeah, definitely.
Nice and chilled. It's really
Yeah,
lovely.
yeah.
It's like it's just got a like I said, slightly sweet taste to it. And what grape is this from?
Cab Franc.
Cab Franc.
100% Cab Franc.
Really? How do you get it to be like? Because most Cab Francs aren't sweet. How do you get that slightly sweet taste from it?
Well, we don't add anything. I mean, whatever comes out of
It's
the
probably just like the
land, that's what we do, right? It is done in a Charmat method, right? And, you know, we do our wines at Vieni because the facility is not built yet.
right.
So I tell them what I want. I tell them how it should be done. They know what they're doing. But I'm the wine approver in the end, so it's got to be done my way.
Got to be what Ugo
My
likes
name's
is
got-
what we're having to drink.
Right.
That's really
It
like
came out really right. It's our most popular right now. It's going off the shelf, so it's very
and
good.
that's new because when the first time I was
No,
here, you
this
didn't
is
have
just came in. Not
Wow.
too long ago.
that. That's fantastic. What a lovely way to start a wine tasting with
you.
something like completely different. And like that Lambrusco just really seals it for me because that's
Yeah.
one of my favorite things I used to love to drink. So perfect. So now we're moving on to a white sparkling.
A white sparkling. So this is a Lanuvino, it's called. And it's
Lanuvino?
it's a 2021 Riesling. And again, easy drinking, crisp, clean. Not overly bubbly, you know. We watch the level of CO2.
It's very delicate bubbles.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the way we want it.
Again, slightly sweet, but really refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like a sparkling Riesling. But a lot of people do sparkling Chardonnays, but you chose Riesling.
Yeah.
Why was that?
Something different. We have the grapes.
Yeah, why not,
We
right?
tasted the grapes. I thought it would be a nice sparkling. Sure enough. That's
It
what
really is.
Yeah.
It's really enjoyable,
Yeah.
really fantastic with the, I would love that with some cheese.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. That'd be great to sit outside,
Yeah.
enjoy that, and just have a wonderful time. Really nice. And again, when I first came here, you didn't have sparklings either.
No. These are,
So
these
it's
are
really
fun.
nice to see you growing as a winery and having more and more selection and just like expanding what you have to offer the listener and your customer.
We'll be a lot more happy once the building is finished.
Well, that'll be a
I
few
mean, the
years.
building is going to have a wood oven restaurant,
Oh,
a tasting room, wedding hall upstairs, a cave underground, and more importantly, the winemaking facility.
a cave underground?
Oh, yes.
Wow,
The real
what?
cave.
So
where we're
cool.
going to store wines. We do our tours there. Weddings.
And then you can have your champagne where you're like turning the bottles. Oh, but I can't wait for that. That's going to be amazing. So
one
what are
of
we
these
going
years.
to taste next?
I'll give you one that won silver.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. And gold.
Silver and gold.
So this is a Pinot Gris, 2023, and this is a Scalina, 2023.
Okay.
The Pinotino is a gold medal, and the Scalina is silver medal.
Pinotino, I love that name. The Pinotino Pinot Gris.
Scalina is called Scalina because our girl that works here, her name is Skylar. So we named it after her.
Oh, that's so sweet.
She's doing WSET courses. She wants to be a sommelier, so
And now she has
not
a
too
wine
many people
named
have
after.
a wine
That's
named after them.
fantastic. Wow. But I assumed that that's going to be sweeter, so we would start
Oh
with
yeah,
the Pinotino.
definitely.
So tell me a little bit about the Pinot Gris, the Pinotino.
It's I don't know, like it's clean, crisp, easy to drink, flavorful.
It doesn't have a very overpowering nose to it, which is like,
No.
it's very like, kind of just almost like non-existent, really, but it's very crisp.
Yep.
It's got a nice, I feel like it's got like a green apple flavor to
Yep.
it. Like a crisp green apple.
If you want to read the notes, this is my daughter. She writes the notes.
Aha.
So
I don't want to prejudice people, but it does say, oh my gosh, it does say crisp green apple. I win.
there you go.
Yay. Also juicy pear and a hint of honeysuckle. Interesting. Really nice summertime wine. It's very lightly colored, a little bit clear, but it's just really refreshing. And on a hot summer day like it is today, this is an absolutely perfect wine. And it won gold?
Yes,
Wow.
the last competition,
Which competition was that?
ACWC.
Okay. Wow. That's
All
fantastic.
Canadian.
Nice. That's fantastic. And on the tasting notes say easily paired with creamy pasta, grilled seafood, fresh salads, and sushi. I would definitely have this with a creamy pasta. But I would also have it with cheese. Because I have anything with cheese.
Nice carbonara.
Oh, cabanero. Oh, yes. Are you gonna have that when you have the new place? Or are you gonna have some pasta?
Oh, definitely we will. The real McCoy.
It really is like really tasting that crispy green apple. It's just so refreshing.
yeah.
Nice and light. Like again,
I suppose that's why I won, right? And
yeah. It's just a lovely Pinot Gris. I give that a thumbs up for sure. Now the Scalina, that's a late harvest. So this is more of an ice.
this is a late
almost
harvest.
a late.
So what happened is we basically did not have a winter last winter,
No.
right? So I say, what am I going to do with the Vidal? So I left it on the vines, the grapes. We harvest January 22nd. So I said, I'm going to do a late harvest and see what happened. I took advantage of the weather. And sure enough, it won silver and is one of the only one in Ontario, I would say, around the region that really won a medal. So
And what grape is this from?
this is Vidal,
Vidal? Okay. It's a Scalina Vidal.
and these are the notes.
Aha. Now, a late harvest, for the listener that doesn't know much about that, it's not quite an ice wine
No.
because an ice wine has to be picked at a very specific temperature.
And it's not a dessert wine either because it's not overly sweet. You can pair it maybe with some dessert, but as long as they're not too sweet.
I would pair this with a really sharp cheese. Again, going
You
back to
got
the
it,
cheese
that's it.
because that's my thing.
Yeah.
But to me, I think it does, like for me, if I was having this with dessert, I think it would be too sweet because I'm not a big fan of sweet wines.
That's right.
I mean, this for a Vidal isn't overly sweet. It's just I think it's got the perfect amount of sweetness to it.
Maybe it will go well with a lemon meringue.
Oh, something tart.
Yes.
Exactly, like a key lime pie.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
That would be perfect with this, I believe.
Yeah.
Really, really nice flavor to it. It's very full-bodied for a Vidal, but not cloyingly sweet. And a medal winner,
Yes.
which is fantastic.
Silver.
Yeah, silver. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find that influences people to buy the wine when they find out that it's a medal winner?
It does. Sometimes it does. People think they get a different framework when they know it's gold or silver or something, because I guess they get the sense that somebody else tasted and it's really good wine behind the other wines. But in the end, is what you like.
Exactly.
You can taste a platinum wine and you taste it and you say, I don't like it. It's all about you. It's all about personality, right? It's very subjective.
Because, and also I think too, when you age, the more you become accustomed to wine, your flavors change and your taste change, and it's like what you liked maybe 10 years ago, you don't like now.
Exactly.
Or vice versa. You know, it's like I think it's really interesting, but I think it's always really important. And the point of my podcast is to embrace your palate.
Yeah.
like know what you like and don't be afraid of it.
No.
Like don't be ashamed.
Yeah.
You know, in the same family, it's like my brother loves sweet wines. I like a really nice chunky red. And my sister-in-law likes to put her reds in the refrigerator.
We do too.
See? Oh, is that an Italian thing?
Yes, it is.
Yeah?
Our red wines are in the fridge.
Really? See, I've always come from that thought that red wines should never
Nah.
be. Nope. Nope.
Ask her especially.
Well, now I see. Yeah, that makes complete sense to me.
Warm wine is no good. Let's put it that way. Like even yesterday, we had people in and they said, "Oh, this is fantastic. It's chilled. That's what we like."
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people understand that, you know, a little bit colder the wine, even red, it's better,
That's interesting.
much better.
But it's a whole thing in Italy.
Oh, absolutely. Italy's too hot. Like when you got 40 degrees outside.
You don't want to drink
No.
a room temperature wine,
No.
right? Yeah, I get it. Okay. So I heard your daughter talking earlier about the Gewurztraminer.
Yes,
And this is a new one for you, right?
it is.
Yes. The Speziato?
Speziato.
Speziato.
It was 100% Gewurztraminer. The 2021 won double gold and a bronze across Canada. So it was fantastic. 2023 is just as good, maybe even better, I would say. But we didn't enter on a competition because we already had it.
Right.
So people are loving it. You can tell by the shelf that it's gone.
Oh my
Sold
gosh.
out. We're waiting for another batch to come in.
So don't get attached, listener. But,
They'll have to go on the waiting list. We started a waiting list, so
wow.
we should be getting the next batch because we're bottling and labeling now. But maybe within the next month.
It doesn't have like a lot of Gewurztraminers have a very floral aroma
no,
to them.
not this
This doesn't
one.
have it. It's more of it's a very light lychee.
Yes.
It's not overly lychee.
Yeah.
It's just really lovely.
And again, if we read the notes that my daughter wrote, right?
It's not even that sweet, which is interesting because most Gewurztraminers are really sweet, but this one isn't.
It's got a floral bouquet, right? And
Yeah.
it's light on the palate
very light.
with aromas apple blossom.
Yes. I can taste more apple than lychee. And normally with a Gewurztraminer, it's very lychee and very floral.
There is some lychee, there's some flint.
Very, very slight.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Not
it's
much.
really interesting because it's so different from any other Gewurztraminer I've ever tasted.
Yeah,
Yeah, really cool.
that's right, as winning medals.
Because it's unique and different.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
And we're fortunate to have this land, and this land is producing award-winning wines. We are starting to get recognized that we're making wines that could go internationally as well. So Ontario, especially the Bench area, is becoming famous for really good wine. So
Well, and especially with the way the climate is changing and the winters aren't as rough as they have been, I think the Bench area really serves that much better because we have a higher elevation.
yeah,
And the soil is different.
Yep.
Now, is your soil a lot of clay content?
clay loam, yes. Water table is about 20, 25 feet. So they got to go deep. They get the minerality, the sandstones, and everything else. And then maybe that's what makes it fantastic, right?
Right, because the difference in the earth really affects the taste of the grapes.
Absolutely.
And, yeah.
There is so many variables out there, right? When you grow grapes, they're all reflects on the wines, and you got to be very careful, very meticulous. What do you spray? How many leaves you're going to leave? Expose the clusters. All kinds of details that makes a difference.
It's kind of a science.
You could say that.
Yeah. Well, I think that you have to know a lot about the terrain. So you have to know a lot about gardening. You have to know a lot about science and weather because the weather really affects so
absolutely.
much.
But in the end, like, it's Mother Nature that dictates what is going to come out, right?
Did you panic when we had those few days of really torrential rains and go like, oh no, it's going to be too wet?
What has been wet, for sure.
Yeah.
I was more worried in the winter that it was so warm. I mean, we had 20 degrees in February, right?
Yeah.
I was worried that then the frost would hit and that would decimate everything.
Because then the grapes would start to grow because it was warmer and then the frost would come.
Kills everything, kills
Right.
all the buds. That's what happened in 22. 22, we lost about 50% of the crop.
That was a horrible year for everybody
Yes.
around here. Yeah.
A lot of people lost their vines completely. Yeah. Now, weather is a major factor. I mean, if you look in BC, last winter, 95% to 97% of the winery lost everything, all their vines. And now it's going to take it 3 to 4 years to regrow. That's a major blow for the industry.
Oh, for sure, because their wine industry is basically at a standstill.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. A lot of them are closing because they can't afford it. So yeah,
And you only have so much backstock that
it.
you can keep
That's it.
selling. Yeah, because you've got to have new things developing. And
Yeah.
what was your best year so far, do you think, for grapes for you?
Oh, 2020, no question.
The COVID year.
No question.
Yeah.
Fantastic year.
It's funny how it was such a crappy year for everyone because of COVID, but it was a great year for grapes because the weather was fantastic for that. But I heard that 2023 was a great year as well.
It is so far, as long as it stops raining.
Yeah.
If it continues raining like this, it's no good. I mean, we're starting to see some very little section of the downy mildew. That's no good.
Right.
So we're gonna take care of it. But
Do you chop the leaves off them? Or?
no, we usually spray it.
Oh, okay.
Right. So yeah.
Right. So now we're moving on to your rosé,
The famous Rosellino.
Rosellino, and
So
it's
2020 is sold out. This is 2021, right? It's totally different.
it's a really
Soft aromas.
very light color. It's almost the color of a French rosé.
Yeah.
Now, the French rosé is a little bit lighter than this, but it's a really light pink. It smells like strawberries. It's so nice.
Very bright acidities, soft aromas, crab apple, maybe.
No, I don't even taste
grapefruit.
crabapple. I just taste. I'm really tasting strawberries.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just. This is so refreshing, and I bought this from you before. This this is such a beautiful rosé.
Well, that's why there's very little left, even on the 2021.
So the thing with Villa Romano is when you come to visit, if you like it, you have to buy it. It's like when you go to Costco. It's if you don't buy it, it's gone. It's the same
Pretty
thing
well.
with Villa Romano.
Pretty well.
You got to come and buy it while you're here because otherwise it's gone. But this, I have to say, is really one of my favorite rosés.
Thank you.
It's just so beautiful, so delicate.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like kind of a French rosé, but a little sweeter. Because it's light and delicate like that, but just a tiny little bit of sweetness that just makes it so perfect for summertime.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll move into the reds.
Oh,
And that's it pretty well.
I could dwell on this one forever, I have to say, Hugo. How much is that a bottle?
This one is $23.95.
Not bad. Yeah, it's such a nice bottle.
Now you get into some very complex wines.
Okay, now we're moving on to the reds. And as an Italian, I would expect that you had nothing but spectacular reds.
Let's see.
You have that reputation. We're having some, I would say the color of these reds is beautiful. So what are we starting with?
So we're starting with the Pinot Noir Riserva. This is a 2020. It's extremely complex. It's called Quatrarello.
Quatrarello.
Quatrarello means a young boy in the Calabrese dialect.
Quatrarello.
When we first started going out with my wife, she mentioned the word Quatrarello, and I said, what the heck is that? She goes, do you speak Italian? I said, I say bambino, not Quatrarello. But because it's a young wine, the name
Quatrarello.
stuck.
It's got a really lovely nose.
It's exceptional.
It's a very fruity nose. And it's just a beautiful
And it's
color.
been about a year in French oak. Earthy, yes, fresh.
And
Fruit
and it's
flavors.
a little bit chilled, which is
Absolutely.
lovely. Yeah, I will be honest with you, I've never had a Pinot chilled.
So this is ready to drink,
But it's
this
beautiful.
can go 5 years easy in a cellar.
Wow, it's spectacular.
Thank you.
Really nice wine. Really just like, I think that little bit of chill is really interesting because I've never chilled a Pinot, but now it makes me want to do that because it just opens it up a little bit and just
right.
makes it like gets rid of the youngness. So then it's like, you don't feel guilty for enjoying the young boy.
Okay.
That's really fantastic. And in this, is this a medal winner as well?
No, we didn't put it into competition.
Quatrarello Reserva.
Quatrarello.
Quatrarello. Because I don't have my glasses on, I can't read it.
Okay.
I'll put my glasses on and I can say Quatrarello
Quatrarello.
Riserva. It's beautiful. You've changed your label a bit.
No,
No, haven't you?
no. It's still the same as before.
It's really pretty.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of compliments on our labels.
They're really nice.
Yeah.
Kind of like the estate there.
Yeah.
Beamsville
Colors are
bench.
right. And
Everything is perfect. Yeah.
Thank you.
And the Reservo has the dark black.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Also, listener, you can't see this, but he's got, when you come to visit this winery, Ugo has the most wonderful logo that he's always explained it to me every time I've been here. And my guests, when I bring guests here, they love to hear the story of the logo,
Yep.
which is really hard because this is a podcast and you can't see the visual. But I did take a photo of it, and we'll talk about that because it's really cool because it's so complex.
And we don't want to give it away.
No, we don't,
We're gonna
because
leave it to
they
when
have
they
to.
come.
Because when you come, you have to figure it out yourself.
That's
But it's a
right.
beautiful logo, and when you look at it, you see one thing. But the more you stare at it, you see other things.
And
I
there's
want.
a
I don't.
story
I
there.
want to give. I don't want to give it away because
No.
I want you to come here and have Ugo tell you the story of what the logo is. If you couldn't figure it out yourself, I think I did, and I've had friends that have come and figured it out themselves. But Ugo is also famous for giving you blind tastings where he just tells you, tell me what you think this wine is. And it's so much fun. Like you are one of my favorite wine hosts because you do that kind of thing where you're like, what's this wine? I don't know, you tell me. And then you have to really put your thinking cap on and go, I don't know, it tastes like this, it might be this. And if you're new to wine, it would be hard for you. But if you're an experienced wine taster, it's really fun. It's like a little game. You should have like tokens or something. If you get them all right, you win something.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
an idea.
I would just say that because you're really good at this.
All right.
But this Pinot is absolutely fantastic. And like I said, I've never had a Pinot chilled, but this is really lovely. And now we're moving on
Now
to
you're gonna be the Romanello Riserva.
Romanello.
Romanello.
And what is this named for? It's obviously
it's just
Roman.
because I'm Roman, so Romanello.
Romanello.
Small Roman. So this one is, again, 1 year in French oak. And it's Cabernet Sauvignon Merlot Cab Franc.
Oh, it's a
2020.
blend. Nice blend.
It's a blend. It's a classical Bordeaux blend.
Oh,
The
wow.
Meritage.
Again, beautiful color, very deep red,
Yeah.
and slightly chilled in the Italian way. And
So, as my daughter would say, she's got
Really
flavors
inviting.
of kirsch, blueberry, violet with aromas, vanilla, and forest floor. Now, I don't know
Interesting.
about forest floor, but
if you could,
I'm
you
not
could
a
ask my,
sommelier,
you
so
could
I
ask my puppy what the florist is, and he'd probably be like, I know, it smells like this, this, and this. I don't know about that. I definitely taste fruit in it. And it's just a really nice wine. I think that would be really nice with a steak.
absolutely. Definitely.
Some nice pepper on that steak.
Yeah, any barbecue.
Some
Anything
Romano
done.
cheese. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
instead of blue cheese, some Romano. I have a friend who's a flight attendant that just came back from Rome and brought me some of that.
Oh,
And I'm using it on everything I eat. Because
it's like that commercial, right?
Yeah.
I use that stuff on anything.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's just got such an amazing flavor to it. I'm like, oh, I'm having chicken wings. Maybe I'll put some of that on top. Literally, it's so good. But then I'm going, wait, don't use it all.
No,
Because then you won't have it for the
right.
next.
Then you got to go on a trip and get some more.
I know. I'll tell her the next time she goes to Rome, just bring some back for me again.
Yeah.
But spectacular cheese. There's some other cheese that she brought me from there that was like this really nice soft cheese that was absolutely spectacular.
Asiago? Or?
No, I don't know what it was. It was it was like literally a tiny little box.
Oh,
It was so good. I didn't even share it with anyone. I ate it all myself within the space of 10 minutes. That's how good it was. Yeah. Your cheese in Rome is absolutely spectacular. I need to go there.
yes. Nice place to visit.
But you wouldn't want to live there?
No. Out of the question. Born and raised there, but no.
Is that why you left?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
well. I came here when I was 17.
Yeah.
Fell in love with the country, so stayed.
Why did you
Canada's
leave?
my
Because
place.
is it too crowded? Is it just too...
Well, I mean, there's definitely that. I mean, obviously, like Rome, for example, is anywhere between 12 to 14 million people at any given time.
In the city and with all the tourists.
Yeah. And there's a lot of traffic, a lot of pickpockets, a lot of crime, small crime. So, nah, not for me.
Kind of like they talk about Paris like that with the metro, where there's the gypsies on the metro, and yeah.
And this is my daughter, Andrea.
Hey, come on in.
She's the sommelier.
Andrea, what a pretty name.
Thank you.
Because that's my name
Andrea.
too. Andrea.
Yeah.
Yes. As I'm used to that.
You can just hold it if you want.
Just hold and talk. You're doing an amazing job with the wines.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I have to push for certain things, but yes.
Is your vision different from your father's a lot of times?
Completely, yeah. I'm very much like in the market and knowing what is actually drinking these days, which is different than what tends to be of that generation and what they like to drink. They were just raised on different wines and stuff, and the things that we tend to gravitate to are very different.
So did you introduce the Gewurztraminer then?
No, we grew that grape, but I pushed for it to be a solo wine on its own, as opposed to in a blend with the Pinot Gris and the Vidal.
And I was saying it's a really interesting Gewurz because it's so different than anyone I've tasted.
Yeah, so our Gewurz is great because it's actually a typical Gewurz. When you think of what Gewurz is supposed to taste like, this is what it is supposed to be. That's why when we sent it in for awards, my dad was like, why are we sending this in? And I'm like, send the Gewurz because that will win. And sure enough, it did. It won a bunch of gold medals because it is a typical Gewurz of what that is supposed to be expressed, or what it is expressing what it's supposed to be.
Right, because it's not overly floral and it's not overly lychee. It's more like I had a completely different taste than I had with any other Gewurztraminer I've ever had.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And how did you know that? Did you...
Many, many years of sommelier school and tasting many, many different Gewurztraminers from all around the world, and them basically saying, this is what a Gewurz is supposed to taste like, this is what Gewurz is, and then it, ingrains into your brain, and when you taste it, you know it.
Do you have to manipulate the grape to make it taste that way?
No, it's dependent on our vintage. 100%. Like our 2023 is good. I would argue that 2021 is a better Gewurz. Like it is a better indication of what it is supposed to be.
Why so?
It has actually more of that lychee and a lot of more florality, but it does have a lot of minerality as well. It's just a really well-balanced wine. This one, the season wasn't quite as hot, and so it won't pull as many of those notes. Not as strong. It still has them, but just not quite in the same veracity as like our 2021.
So what's your favorite of all the wines you have here?
He's gonna get mad. The Cenerentolo. So our sparkling red. That's by far my favorite.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Because there's not many people that are in this region that do.
We are only one of 3 in the entire peninsula that do sparkling red. Yeah.
And what made you want to do that?
I have been a fan of Lambrusco or Sparkling Shiraz or any like Molly Duke or Bledesdale, like any of those, for many, many, many years. And I was like, we have the grapes. Let's do it. Like, let's do it. And he's like, you're insane. You are nuts. Who in their right mind sparkles a red wine? You're out to lunch. And I pushed for 4 years. I was like, we're doing it. And finally he's like, okay. And now it's like our bestseller piece. People come in and buy cases of it.
Wow.
Yeah. They're like, I've never tasted anything like this. And I'm like, I know.
You're like, yeah, pat on the back.
I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah.
And it's just really funny.
There aren't so many cases left.
No, we're almost like sold out actually. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That must like be like, like I'm justified.
I just like, just chaps his ass.
So I guess you'll be continuing to make that.
Depends on the years. Yeah. So next year, we are going to only make a couple wines. Maybe, I mean, it depends. If we sell out of the Cabernet Franc, I'd say make another batch of it. But we are going to make a red wine. We're going to make a solo Merlot on its own. We're going to do grab some of the Pinot and grab some of the Chardonnay and do a traditional rosé sparkling. Put it on lees for 3 years, all that fun stuff. And then I want to do a Pinot Gris select. And so what that is where your Pinot Gris is left on the vine, not quite late harvest, but like you're pushing the harvest date. And it still is making a table wine that is dry, but it just gives you a much more bigger mouthfeel, an oilier texture on the wine.
A little sweeter?
It's not sweet in the sense that like in your actual palate, but you will get some of those sweeter notes, yes, because it is a much more ripe fruit. It's just very different than a normal Pinot Gris, and especially quite drastic from a Pinot Grigio. But this is going to be very comparison to your Alsace Pinot Gris, some of those ones.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I would like and what I'm pushing for, but we'll see what gets approved.
I have to say, your rosé was one of my favorite rosés in the area.
So I don't always drink a lot of wine, but if I do, our rosé is one of the wines I drink actually the most out of, well, now the Cenerentolo, but like our rosé, because it's just, I eat a lot of vegetarian food and or a lot of like fish and white meat. And that wine I just find goes with everything. Drinks like a red, it has all of that, drinks like a white, but it has a lot of the robustness of a red. And it is dry in that Provence style, which for me is what a rosé should be like. So I'm a big fan.
I know, it does have that little Provence feel to it,
does,
which I really like. Yeah, it just, I feel like I'm in France, but also Italy at the same time. It's like border, it's not really border at all because it doesn't, but
I know what you mean, yes.
Yeah, it's just got that, it's really, like honestly, one of my favorite rosés I've ever had in this area.
Well, thank you.
So yay. Andrea.
I was like, we have to do the rosé dry. I'm like, this is not white Zinfandel from the US. Like it has to please make it dry. And it came out dry, so.
Do you have to manipulate the grapes a lot when you make wine, or do you just kind of let them be what they are and just kind of go with the flow?
We call it fixing. So there's, the wine comes out and it makes it a certain thing, but then you do need to sometimes like add stuff. Maybe you need to add a little sugar in it to make it ferment a little bit longer, or you need to stop fermentation quicker. You need to maybe let it sit on itself so it can do some malolactic fermentation. There's different things that you can do with the wines that create different flavors in the wine as you're processing through, and you won't know it until you're actually like in the winemaking process.
As I was talking to a winemaker at Casaba, and he said sometimes the wine takes a completely different turn than what he thought it would.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like that's, and I mean,
it's the curveball of wine, right?
Yeah, like we're looking at the same vines that we produce from every single year, and every single year the wines taste different.
Because there's so many different factors, like weather and,
Our grapes are maturing, things like that, because we're still pretty young. But yeah, it changes everything for the flavor.
And you can't anticipate that at all,
God,
right?
no. It's not like you're going and like grabbing a grape and being like, and eating it and going, yeah, it's going to be like this. No, those grapes are disgusting on the vine.
Really?
Oh, have you ever tried one?
Yes, I have, but I've tried some that have been really sweet on the vine and some that have been...
They're mostly, like, until they're like the day that you're picking, they're really gross. They're really gross.
How do you decide how much skin contact you're going to give a wine?
Well, it depends on what the wine is. Some wines call for a lot more, obviously. So if you're doing like that Bordeaux blend Meritage, then yes, it's...
That Bordeaux blend Meritage is spectacular.
Thank you.
I really like that.
Drink it in 5 years. Lay it for 5 years and then come back and tell me.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
that wine,
Drink it in 5 years, like, hello, no.
No, that one...
It's too good to drink 5 years later.
Yeah, that one I think in 5 years will be fantastic. The tannins will smooth out a little bit more and it'll just brighten up in terms of like some of the other flavors, those tertiary flavors. But yeah, it all depends. I mean, our rosé, we do 24 hours on our skin contact. When we do the Pinot Gris Select, if we do it, it actually will have a little bit of skin contact, but it won't be as long as you think. Like, it won't be the 24 hours.
The Pinotino is so nice.
Yeah, that's a fun one too.
It's really nice. It's just like summertime chill that, sit outside,
Porch
drink that
pounder.
whole bottle. Yeah, don't even leave your porch. Just grab another bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Just
fortunately
keep one of
I
these,
have a
like,
little
frozen.
fridge outside at my house, so I can just shove it in there and be like, yeah, I don't even have to
You
go
need a
inside.
straw.
It's perfect. Everything is great. I'm having a great day.
That's funny.
No, I'm really impressed with how much you guys have grown.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's really nice to see that you have so many more varietals and that you're like pushing the boundaries, and I think that's really fantastic.
I think it's just fun, and like we're able to do that we're lucky because this is just sort of a hobby. It's not our living. Like I have a full-time other career, and so does my brother, and so we're lucky in that sense that we can do things that are maybe a little bit outside the box or whatnot because we don't need to like necessarily like, oh my God, we have to do the wine that sells because that's what's whatever. But meanwhile, our Cenerentolo, like I pushed for it. It's outside the box, but now it's selling. It's our best seller. So, I mean, who knows?
It always happens like that, though, doesn't it? The thing that you don't expect is going to be the thing that people just like fall in love with.
Yeah.
Because it's unique, and that's what's great about it.
Well, it's the same as like our late harvest. Like people, when I tell them late harvest, they're like, oh, it's going to be so sweet. And I'm like, please do not serve our late harvest with dessert because it's not sweet enough. In dessert, you always have to match sweetness to sweetness. And ours is only 65 grams per liter. Like that is not sweet enough for dessert at all.
No.
Maybe like a lemon custard tort type thing.
That's what we were just saying.
Yeah, but like other than that.
I said key lime pie.
Yeah, like which isn't overly sweet. But other than that, you're definitely looking at like, that's like sushi right there. Like that's whitefish. That is spicy food. That is
really,
like
because I
curry
couldn't picture
things.
that with that.
Oh, 100%, because it's so floral, and you think with Indian food, like that has a lot of flavor as well, and it's only 9% alcohol, so you want something that's lower alcohol, otherwise it's gonna burn when it goes down. But having that sweetness,
9 proof.
yeah, that sweetness helps with, to sort of cut through it, and then it's matching the flavors, for sure.
That's really, really interesting. I'm learning so much today from you guys.
That's what everyone says when they talk to me. I'm like, oh my God, I'm info dumping on people. I'm so sorry.
No, it's great. That's what the reason for this podcast is to like explain to people that you don't have to know that much about wine, but the more you go to wineries and you talk to people like you guys, you learn more, and then it actually deepens your appreciation. Because when I've lived out in this area for a little over 2 years, and I have learned exponentially so much more about wine than I ever did just by going to places like this and sitting and talking with you guys. I remember the first time I came here when I first moved here 2 years ago, I brought my other dog, Dunphy, who has since passed away, and Ugo said, just let him run, let him have the reign of the place, and we sat down and just talked and drank wine together, and it was just a really magical, wonderful experience to have that one-on-one time with somebody and to not feel pressure. And to just talk to you about your wines, talk to you about the reason you made things. And I think that that's the beauty of wine tasting.
I think that's what we strive for at our place, is that when you can come in and it doesn't matter what your palate is or what you like or what you dislike, because everybody is different. And who cares?
Exactly.
Do you enjoy wine?
Yeah.
Great. You don't need to be in a bow tie to enjoy wine, because sitting on my porch in my jorts, fantastic. It's for everybody, and that's the beauty of it. And we try to always create an experience that is representative of that, where it's just easy and fun and not stuffy. And that's really important to what we want to provide here, is that it's accessible for all.
Exactly. And you guys have this really wonderful Roman tradition where you do your Roman day, your Roman reenactments. And I love that you're so true to your roots, but you're also you're also ambitious in what you're doing with your wines. And I think
we do a market once a year now.
Yeah.
And the last one was last Saturday, actually.
I saw the sign, but I was busy. So I was actually in Ohio,
Yes,
but yeah.
Basically artisan from the region that come up. We do a charcuterie board, personal one, and a flight of wine for $25.
That's great. Yeah. Well,
We do dinners sometimes, private dinners. August 18th, we're going to have a Sunday brunch. So all you can eat buffet. So
Yum.
it's,
That sounds fantastic.
I'm more interested in the mimosa. mimosas.
And we're gonna have mimosas.
Like, just give me mimosas. I'm good.
And they'll be made with your bubbly,
Yeah.
of course.
Absolutely.
Of course, yeah. I would just take the bubbly sans the orange juice, but that's fine.
Oh, I just put a splash. And
Okay,
call it a
that's
mimosa.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
okay. I like the way you
There's orange
think. You're
juice
perfect.
somewhere in that glass at one point. Like,
You just wave the orange over the
Yeah,
glass. That's
like,
perfect. That's
yeah.
exactly what you need to
it's
do.
like in a science class where you're like wafting towards you. Like, don't smell it directly, just waft it. That's perfect. I do that with the orange juice.
That's the perfect
it's
mimosa for
yeah.
me. Yes. It's like, oh, don't overkill it with orange juice. Just like waft it over.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I am so happy that we came here and had this time with you guys and listeners. I really hoped you enjoyed this visit with Villa Romana. It's a real wonderful family winery with that taste of Italy that I have just had red wine chilled, which I really enjoyed. And I just think that it's a great spot and you guys should definitely come here. So, be sure to visit the show notes because we'll have info on the winery. We'll have the website. We'll have contact info. We'll also have some photos. And then also remember to like and follow Spill the Wine on all platforms. And if you have any topics or wineries that you would like us to explore, you can email us at podcastspillthewine@gmail.com. That's podcastspillthewine@gmail.com. And so for now we say cheers.
Cheers.
Have a fab day and join us on the next podcast.